Assalamualaikum and good morning to everyone. First of all, on behalf of Darul Aman English Language Learning and Teaching Association, Delta, I would like to welcome everyone to our routine engagement in academic dialogue session 5. Thank you for spending your time with us and hopefully we will enrich our knowledge on the teaching and learning of English language. I, Muhammad Kamal bin Ayub, will be your moderator for today. So everyone, we are very blessed to have with us today our speaker, Tuan Haji Abdul Wahid bin Latt. He will be sharing with us an approach that can be used to provide a variety of techniques to the teaching of English verbs. Now, let us get to know Tuan Haji Abdul Wahid bin Latt. Tuan Haji Abdul Wahid bin Latt was born in Alustar. He had taught for 34 years. He received his early education at SK Tunku Abdul Halim, SMK Darul Aman, College Sultan Abdul Hamid, and Victoria Institution. After graduating, he worked with Bank Bumiputra and then left for Maktab Perguruan Bahasa. His first posting was at SMK Batu Gajah, Kelantan. After that, he transferred back to SMK Sungai Tiang and later he pursued his diploma at the University of Malaya and was reposted to SMK Penang. He had also continued his degree at the University of Manchester and after receiving his degree, he was back teaching at SMK Teknik Langkawi for 5 years. In the year 2000, he transferred to SMK Teknik Alustar. His last post was as Guru Kanan Bahasa at SMK Teknik Alustar. He retired in the year 2015 at the age of 56. So dear audience, while we are having this session, I would like to remind everyone to have the copies of the module with you as you will be guided by Tuan Haji Abdul Wahid using that module. Also, please have a pencil and a ruler ready as we will do some hands-on practices. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment or chat section. Now, without wasting any more time, I am sure that everyone is eager to learn. I would like to hand over this session to our speaker, Tuan Haji Abdul Wahid bin Latt. Please welcome.
Well, thank you, Mr. Kamal. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the English Language Read 5 sharing session organized by the Darul Aman English Language Learning and Teaching Association. I'm Tuan Haji Abdul Wahid. Today I feel very honored for being given the opportunity to share with all of you some ideas regarding English verbs entitled The Power of English Verbs. This session will be divided into two parts. For the first part, I'll bring all of you to study 7 different texts. For each text, we will focus on one grammatical item, that is the finite verb, its form and its syntactic position. Because these two criteria have a very strong indication of the basic or main communicative purpose of the whole text. Well, it is very important for teachers to know the main or the basic communicative purpose, especially if they are preparing their own teaching and learning materials. Well, basically, when we want to prepare our own materials, we will consider several factors. For example, how effective can the materials design achieve the desired objective? Or are the materials design suitable for the student's level of proficiency? Okay, for part 2, I will introduce to you the framework of English verbs. The framework simply the framework actually simplify the English verbs into two categories: the finite verb, which is the compulsory grammatical item in a sentence, and the non-finite verb. The finite verb is further subcategorized into two categories: the one-word verb and the verb phrase. So for this session, I'm going to focus on the finite verb phrase. The reason is I want to introduce to all of you a system which is not quite familiar among English language teachers. The system is called the 5-4-3-2-1 system. This system is formulated in such a way that it could help students to construct a finite verb phrase correctly. Okay, participants, I think we can start our sharing session with part one. Okay, before we start, please check that you have with you a hard copy that contains 7 texts, with each accompanied by an appendix. Okay, but the 7 different texts represent the 7 basic communicative purpose. And also get ready with a pen or pencil to scribble on the text. Okay, look at text 1. Put 2 spoonfuls of krill in a pot. Put 3 spoonfuls of rocks in the pot. Pour some cold water in the pot. Stir the mixture. Serve the krill fork. Well, this text does not really bring a meaningful message to the reader because of the occurrence of several nonsensical words like krill, groks, and etc. But in general, we know that the text is an instruction. Okay, how do we know that the whole text is an instruction? Okay, first, look at the words put in line 1, put in line 2, pour in line 3, stir in line 4, and serve in line 5. They are the finite verb in the base form or root word. Second, these verbs are positioned at the beginning of the sentence. Okay, these are the two criteria that tells us that the whole text is basically communicating an instruction. Okay, for the main communicative purpose, you can write instruction. Okay, the characteristic, the finite verb form, you can write base form or root word. And in bracket, you write imperative verbs because they function as imperatives. Okay, for the syntactic position of the verb, you write at the beginning of the sentence. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, to reinforce the above concept and prove that the criteria communicate an instruction, let us look at Appendix 1. Okay, look at register now. The word register is in the base form and positioned at the beginning of the sentence. So register now is an instruction. Okay, to the right, don't panic is a negative instruction. The word panic is the base form and is positioned at the beginning of sentence. So don't panic is an instruction. Okay, right at the bottom there, place your option ads with us. Look at the word place. It's in the base form and position at the beginning of the sentence. So the whole sentence, place your option with us. So place your option as with us is an instruction. Under it, be the difference. Be in base form, located at the beginning of the sentence. So be the difference is an instruction. Okay, go green. We have do's and don'ts. Plant trees. Switch off electrical appliances. Recycle. The do's, take long shower, burn waste, and do not litter. So all the words, plants in base form, switch off in base form, take base form, burst base form, and they are positioned at the beginning of the sentence. And all those sentences are showing instructions. To the right, you hold on to your wallet. Look at the word hold. It is in the base form and positioned at the beginning of the sentence. So the whole sentence is an instruction. And the last one, celebrate Kaamatan in a safe way. The word celebrate in the base form and position at the beginning of the sentence. To celebrate Kaamatan in a safe way is an instruction. If you want to prepare your own teaching materials to teach instruction, make sure that you highlight these two criteria. For example, for year one pupils, you can start with put up your hand and put down your hand to focus on the word put. For 4-5 students, you may distribute photostat copies of authentic materials like recipes or instruction manuals of a DIY product and ask them to underline the sentences that show instructions. Okay, there's one question here. What is the pedagogic implication of the concept? Okay, actually we want students to understand these two criteria. The verb form for instruction must be in base form and its syntactic position is at the beginning of the sentence. Okay, you may use any strategy in your teaching or your testing instruments as long as these two criteria are included in any of these items. Okay? Right. Text 1 represents the first main communicative purpose, that is instruction. Okay, let us move on to text 2. There are many different types of coffee. They have different flavors. The coffees of Africa have a very strong flavor. They are often bitter, but Blue Mountain coffee comes from Jamaica. It is a mixture of coffees and has an unusual taste. There is a wide range of Brazilian coffee. It is not all good, but it has a harsher taste than other coffees. Colombian coffee is strong and rich. with a slightly bitter taste. Okay, the text is basically describing the different types of coffee. It is a factual description. This is identified by the occurrence of the verbs are and have in line 1, have and are in line 2, comes in line 3, has and is in line 4, is and has in line 5, and is in line 6. Okay, for the main communicative purpose, you can write factual description because it's describing a fact. Okay, for the finite verb form, you can write simple present tense. In bracket, you write stative. If you want to introduce these verbs according to the communicative approach, you can introduce them as descriptive stative because they are stative verbs that are used to describe a fact. Okay, for the syntactic position, you can write after the subject of the sentence. Okay, to reinforce the above concept and prove that the two criteria communicate a fact, let us look at Appendix 2. Extract 1. Q007 is an online marketplace especially developed in women fashion with a large portfolio of Korean products and operates in Cambodia and joint ventures with eBay. Okay, focus at the two verbs is and operates. Okay, these two are stative verbs in simple present, and the whole text is a fact. Extract number 2. Newer variants have infectious period possibly as long as 21 days, says expert. He looked at the word have and says. They both are stative verbs in simple present, and the whole message is a fact. Extract number 3. There are two types of people in the world, learners and non-learners. They look at the word are. It is a stative verb, simple present, and the whole message is a fact. Extract number 4. The Royal Balloon Forest in Perak is the world's most ancient virgin forest, older than the forests of Amazon and Congo. At 130 million years old, it is a habitat of 3,000 species of flowering plants, 274 species of birds, more than 100 species of mammals, 168 species of butterflies, and a host of other aquatic life forms. They focus on the verb is in line 1 and is in line 2. They are stative verbs in simple present, and the whole extract is a fact. Extract number 5. Depression affects mother-infant bond. Look at the word affects. Simple present, stative form, and position after the subject depression. So that sentence communicates a fact. Extract number 6. Putrajaya International Convention Centre is Malaysia's largest convention centre. It features a unique design based on the Eye of Pending Perak, a Malay royal belt buckle, taking up an area of 135,000 square meters. This impressive convention center has more than 49 halls and can accommodate more than 12,000 people. The focus on the word is in line 1 and features in line 2. They are stative verbs, simple present, position after the subject. The whole text is a fact. And the last one, extract 7. Sri Perdana is the official residence of the Prime Minister of Malaysia. Located on 40.5 acres of undulating and beautifully landscaped grounds, the building complex consists of 3 blocks with reception, banquet and residential facilities. The focus on the word is and consists is in line 1 and consists in line 3. They are stative verbs, simple present, and located after the subject. And the whole text is a fact. Okay, what is the pedagogic implication of this idea? Okay, for year 1, you can start with simple activities like describing a pencil, which needs students to use the word is or has, or talking about oneself, which requires the students to use the word is or has or have. For 4-5 students, you can exploit text like a description of local foods, extracts from brochures on tourism, or an article from a biology textbook. These are the materials that use simple present, stative verb to show facts. Okay. Any of these materials can be used to teach listening, speaking, reading, or writing. Depends on your own creativity to come up with your own teaching strategy. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, text 2 represents the second main communicative purpose, that is, factual description. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let us study text 3. The coffee plant produces white flowers. Soon, the stigma receives pollen from the anthers and fertilization occurs. Seeds develop and ripen. Seeds develop and ripen. When they are ripe, some seeds find soil in which to grow. Under suitable conditions, a root bursts through the seed case and then a shoot develops. The seedling grows into a small tree and produces more flowers for the cycle to begin again. Okay, the text is generally describing the life cycle of a coffee plant. Since it is a process that happens naturally, we call it a description natural process. Okay, this is indicated by the occurrence of the finite verb produces in line 1, receives and occurs in line 2, develop, ripen and fine in line 3, burst in line 4, develops and grows in line 5, and produces in line 6. Okay, for the main communicative purpose, you can write description, description natural process, description natural process. Okay, the characteristic, the finite verb form, simple present, in bracket, dynamic, with S or without S. For example, we have produces, produce plus S, and develop and ripen without S. Okay, the syntactic position of the verb. Okay, position after the subject. Right, so look at Appendix 3. To reinforce the above concept, let us look at Appendix 3. It's a blank page, and I know it's a blank page. Okay, I'm giving you a few sentences that are quite related to the description of a natural process, even though some of them are not 100% natural process. You get ready with a pen and pencil and write this sentence. Sentence number 1. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Underline the word arises and sets. These two are simple present tense in dynamics. They are positioned after the subject, and the whole sentence shows that it's a natural process. Okay, sentence number 2. My father falls asleep after a few minutes of reading a newspaper. I repeat, my father falls asleep after a few minutes of reading a newspaper. Okay, underline the word falls. Is simple present, dynamic, with the S there because of my father. The concept is quite the same, naturally. So when my father reads a newspaper, he naturally falls asleep. And this can be classified as habitual. Okay, sentence number 3. MAS, Malaysian Airlines System, flies from Kuala Lumpur to London twice a day. I repeat, Malaysia Airlines System, or MAS, flies from Kuala Lumpur to London twice a day. To underline the word flies, is simple present dynamic with IES. Actually, it shows frequency. The frequency is more towards natural rather than man control. Okay, sentence number 4. My mother cooks special chicken curry only when all of our family members are around. I repeat, my mother cooks special chicken curry only when all of our family members are around. To underline the word cooks, simple present, dynamic, position after the subject my mother. Shows is a natural thing that your mother does. Okay, sentence number 5. I play tennis on Saturday. I repeat, I play tennis on Saturday. Underline the word play. Simple present, dynamic. To show a routine that is natural. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so text 3 represents the third main communicative purpose, that is description, natural process. Okay, let us look at text 4. The soil is prepared and holes are made at fixed intervals. Fertilizer is put into the hole and the coffee seedlings are planted 4 to a hole. While the coffee seedlings are growing, they are carefully tended. When the coffee berries are mature, they are picked by hand. Okay, the text is generally describing a process that involves human control or human touch. Since it is a process that involves human control, we call it a description man-controlled process. Description man-controlled process. Okay, this communicative purpose is indicated by the finite verb phrase is prepared and are made in line 1, is put and are planted in line 2, are tended in line 3, and are picked in line 4. Okay, for the main communicative purpose, you can write description, man-controlled process. Okay, the characteristics For the finite verb form, you write is slash are plus past participle. Is or are plus past participle. Okay, for the syntactic position, you write after the subject of the sentence. Okay, to reinforce the above idea and prove the criteria of a description man control process, let us look at Appendix 4. Extract number 1. The making of laksam noodles demonstrates the simple and basic nature of kampung life. After the batter mixed, is mixed, some element of human touch, the form is plus past participle mixed. It has to be steamed to set in a sheet. This is often done, is done, some form of human touch. The form is plus the participle done. By spreading the batter on a flat metal tray. After steaming, the tray is removed. Some element of human touch. The form is plus the participle removed from the steamer, and when it is cool enough to handle, the rice sheet is rolled up. It is rolled, some form of human touch. The form is plus the participle rolled and sliced. It is plus participle sliced. Add a slant into bite-sized nuggets. Okay, text 2. The Tobia Gold is a mango drink base that is popular among the Kedahan. It is manufactured in Tobia, a small village in the district of Kendang. Okay, this is how the base is manufactured. Firstly, ripe mangoes are plucked. The underline are plucked, some form of human touch. Okay, the verb form are plus participle plucked from the mango plantation. Then the fruits are taken, some form of human touch. The verb form are plus participle taken to a small factory in the village. At the factory, the fruits are sorted, some form of human touch. Are plus a participle sorted out. The rotten ones are put aside. The are put, some form of human touch. Are plus put in participle form aside. The quality fruits are later cleaned and washed, some form of human touch. In the form are plus participle cleaned and washed. Next, the skin and the seeds are removed. Are removed, some form of human touch. The form are plus participle removed, leaving the pulp behind. The pulp is blended, some human touch. Is plus blended in participle form to produce a thick base. The base is then filtered, is filtered, some human touch. Is the form is plus filtered in participle form to remove any impurities. The pure base is put some form of human touch. The form is plus put in participle in a boiler. A certain amount of sugar, some permitted food conditioner, some preservatives, a color substance are added and mixed to some form of human touch, are plus added and mixed in participle form. The mixture is boiled, some form of human touch. The form is plus bought in participle form for about 2 hours. Finally, the processed mango drink base is cooled and bottled. Is cooled and bottled some form of human touch. The form is plus cooled and bottled in past participle. Okay, so text 4 represents the fourth communicative purpose, that is description, man-controlled process. All right, and let us move to text 5. Samad arrived home from work later than usual and made a cup of coffee. He was tired and tense after the events of the day. He poured out a mouthful and sat down to enjoy it. He took a sip. It was strong and bitter, which was the way he liked it. He smiled and began to relax, and the various trials of the day receded into the background. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the text is about a simple story that happened one evening. Since it is a story, we call it a narration. Okay, this is characterized by the finite verb arrived and made in line 1. Poured in line 2. Sat and took in line 3. Smiled and began in line 4. Okay, right. The main communicative purpose is a narration. Okay, the finite verb form, simple past tense, in bracket, dynamics. The syntactic position of the verb, the position after the subject. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, to reinforce the above concept and prove that the criteria communicates a narration, let us look at Appendix 5. Extract number 1. A massive explosion killed a few people and injured several others in a Mexican town today. The local authorities said the number of casualties could still increase as the rescue operation is still underway. Firemen and police officers were rushed to the scene to help those affected by the deadly blast. Yeah, I want you to circle the word killed and injured in line 1, sick in line 2. So killed, simple past dynamic, injured, simple past dynamic, and said, simple past dynamic. So the three final verbs shows that the first two sentences are narration. Extract number 2. July, 15 babies given gifts. During the 75th birthday celebration for the Sultan of Brunei, 14 newborns were given gifts in the form of saving accounts, vouchers and souvenir portraits with their parents in a ceremony held at the Women and Children's Center of Raja Istri Pangeran Anak Soleha. Okay, I want you to circle the word held. It's a simple past dynamic that shows the whole extract is a narration. Extract 3. Philippines, 2 dead, 7 hurt in accident. Police said 2 people were killed and 7 others injured when a small speeding truck hit a car on a highway in Quezon province yesterday. The car, after being hit by the truck, crashed into a concrete street post, police say, adding they have detained the truck driver. He circled the word said in line 1, hit in line 5, crash in line 9, and said in line 10. So said, hit, crashed, and said are simple past dynamics showing that the whole extract is a narration. Extract number 4, 18 killed in Mexico cartel shootout. Mexico City. A shootout between suspected drug cartels left 18 people dead on Friday in Mexico, a government officer said. The gunfight happened in a remote area of Zacatecas state in the north, said Rocio Aguilar, a spokesman for the state government. Drug-related violence has claimed more than 300,000 lives since 2006. There were 18 dead, and the confrontation occurred in the community of San Juan Capistrano in the municipality of Valparaiso, Aguilar said. The battle was between rival gangs fighting over turf, she said. Right, if you look at the word left, said, and happened, these 3 words, simple, past, in dynamics, and they show that the whole text is a narration. Extract number 5, Philippines, 2 quakes in a row. A 6.7 magnitude earthquake struck off the main island of Luzon and was followed a few minutes later by a 5.8 magnitude quake in the same region. The Philippine Seismological Agency said no damage or tsunami was expected. Okay, 2 words struck in line 2 and said 2 from the bottom, line 2 from the bottom. So they are in a simple past tense, showing that the whole text is a narration. Okay, extract number 6, Brunei. Jail sentence for a robbery reduced. The Court of Appeal reduced a man's penalty for armed robbery to 4 years imprisonment and 12 whippings. The President of the Court of Appeal arrived at the decision after considering the degree of offences committed and the defendant's guilty plea. Okay, the 2 words reduced in line 2 and arrived in line 7 shows that the whole text is a narration. Okay, extract 7, Law. New daily case, high recorded. Laos reported another record high of 278 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday, surpassing the previous record of 256 cases registered on Thursday, said the Laos Ministry of Health. This brought the total number of cases to 4,620 with 5 deaths. So they were reported and brought. Simple past, dynamic, These two words bring to tell that the whole text is a narration. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, text 5 represents the fifth communicative purpose, that is a narration. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let us look at text 6. To 150 meters from the hall's cross was the Holy Trinity Church. The church was built in the mid-13th century. It had a great chancel, which was built in 1490, and a spire which was erected in 1763. Today, at the exact location where the church once stood, is one of London's mega mall. Alright, this text is describing a building called Paul's Cross that does not exist anymore. That does not exist anymore. So we call it a narrative description. Okay, this is characterized by the finite verb was in line 1 and had in line 2. Okay, for the main communicative purpose, you can write narrative description. Okay, the characteristics, the finite verb form, simple past tense, in bracket stative, because they are stative verbs used to describe something that does not exist anymore. The syntactic position of the verb is located after the subject. Right, to reinforce the above concept and prove that the criteria communicates a narrative description, let us look at Appendix 6. Extract number 1, Kuala Lumpur. Cucumbers were really cheap in Wonder Supermarket, Kluang, Johor yesterday, where they were sold at 49 cents a kilogram. However, in other places throughout the country, the price was different, as displayed on the website www.shopper.com. While the cucumbers were sold at 1 ringgit and 29 cents a kilogram in Asia Grocer in Cheras, Selangor, the price was 1 ringgit 79 cents in Family Supermarket Kuantan, Pahang, and 2 ringgit and 50 cents in Kepala Batas Market, Penang. So if you look at the finite verb were in line 1, was in line 3, and was in paragraph 3, so these are indications that the whole text is a narrative description describing the different prices that occurred yesterday, not today. Okay? Extract number 2. Perhaps because he was the oldest child, Ismail acted responsibly and was seldom emotional. He had a steady hand and was quick to help. Once He deftly removed a thorn that had pierced my foot while we were swimming in a stream. He focused on the word was and was in line 1, had and was in line 2. There are stative verbs, simple past stative, describing the quality of Ismail once upon a time, not today. Okay? Extract 3. It was a lovely summer's day, and after a challenging semester at college, the prospect of being home filled Arvin with excitement. Within an hour of leaving his hostel, he was at the train station, ready to begin his long, tedious journey. He focused at the finite verb was in line 1 and was in line 3. These two finite verbs in stative form describe the situation once but not today. So it's a narrative description. The extract 4. It was 7:15 a.m. on June 1st, 2016, and Messi, now 58, was on his morning run along New York City's East River. Suddenly something caught his eye. A large 60-year-old man balancing on the 4 feet high wall that guarded the path from the water. As Messi, a New York Police Department captain, got closer to the scene, the man took a step forward and jumped into the dark, choppy river below. He looked at the finite verb was and was in line 1. It is describing the situation that happens once at 7:15 a.m. on June 1st, 2016. So it's a narrative description. The last extract number 5. I often think about my childhood friend Ismail. Back in the early 60s, our families lived a stone's throw from each other on the outskirts of Kuala Lumpur, surrounded by a vast expanse of rubber and oil palm trees. Ismail's father was the plantation lorry driver, and Ismail was the eldest of 5 children. No one was bothered that Ismail was a Malay Muslim and we were Indian Hindus. We just accepted our differences. Okay, focus on the word was in line 3, was and was in line 4, was and were in line 5. Okay, these are the finite verbs in simple past dynamic that indicates the whole text is a narrative description. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, text 6 represents the sixth main communicative purpose, that is narrative description. Alright, let us look at text 7, the last text. Coffee is undeniably a popular drink among people in the world, but the caffeine it contains is hazardous to the health. There are several precautions that coffee drinkers should take to avoid from being addicted. First, coffee should be drunk very irregularly, for instance, once a day. Besides, coffee can be taken in the form of a latte, which will indirectly reduce the amount of caffeine intake. Next, coffee can be brewed the healthy way by using the coffee maker. Last but not least, taking coffee late at night should be avoided, as it may cause sleepless nights. Okay, the main idea of the text is to argue about coffee consumption. The argument is indicated by the finite verb phrase should be done in line 4, can be taken in line 5, will reduce and can be brewed in line 6, and should be avoided in line 8. Okay, for the main communicative purpose, you write argumentation. Okay, the characteristic. For the finite verb form, you can write modal. So we have modal should, can, will, can, and should. Yeah? Modal plus dot, dot, dot. It means that there were other auxiliaries after the modal. For example, should, modal, be, auxiliary, drunk, lexical. Okay, for the syntactic position of the verb, you write located after the subject. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, to reinforce the above concept and prove that the two criteria communicate an argument, let us look at Appendix 7. Okay, extract 1. Till may have been strangled. May, a model, plus have perfective, been auxiliary, strangle lexical. So the final verb starts with a may, a model, therefore it's an argument. Extract 2. Aid must be disbursed. Must, a model, be auxiliary, disburse lexical. So it starts with a must, a model, therefore the sentence communicates an argument. Extract 3. Liquor sale. The liquor sale ban may be expanded. May, a model, be auxiliary, expanded lexical. So the verb phrase starts with a model, therefore the message is an argument. Extract 4. The adverse impact of the lockdown on corporate earnings may similarly cease in the final quarter of this year. So may cease. May is the verb phrase that starts with a model, therefore is an argument. Extract number 5. Research can continue on campus with permission. Okay, can continue. Can, a model, plus continue lexical. So the verb phrase starts with can, a model. Therefore, the whole sentence is an argument. The last one, Malaysia should consider getting China's help on COVID-19 crisis. Okay, look at the verb phrase should consider. It starts with the model should. Therefore, the whole sentence communicates an argument. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have gone through all the 7 texts. We have gone through all the 7 texts and discovered that there are basically 7 main communicative purposes. Okay, instruction indicated by the existence or the occurrence of imperative verbs. Factual description indicated by the simple present stative verb, the is. the has, the are. Description natural process indicated by simple present dynamic indicated by produces. Description man control process indicated by the verb phrase is or are plus past participle. Narration indicated by simple past dynamic, for example, ate, saw. Narrative description indicated by simple past stative, for example, was, were, and had. And argumentation indicated by a verb phrase that begins with a modal.
Okay. Mr. Wahid, sorry, there's one question from the viewer. So the question is, why is it important that we know the seven main communicative purposes? Can you address that?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kamal. It's a very good question. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in preparing our own teaching and learning materials, we should prioritize two factors. First, the message that we want to convey is clear. And second, the function of the finite verb used is well understood. Okay, it is advised that if you want to choose a text to teach listening, speaking, reading, or writing at an elementary stage, make sure that the text consists of one main communicative purpose. The reason is very simple: to avoid or minimize confusion to the students. Okay, for the advanced level, you can integrate a maximum of two main communicative purposes. For example, a factual description followed by an argument, or a narrative description integrated with a narration. I hope that is clear. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of part one. We'll take a short break and later resume with part two. I'll hand over to Mr. Shafiq. Thank you.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry,
sorry,
Mr.
Mr. Kama.
It's
It's
okay.
okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wahid. Thank you again for the clarification for the question just now. Okay, so everyone, so that's part one done. So dear audience, please stay tuned. Now we're gonna have a break session to let our speaker refresh before moving on to part two. So please stay tuned again. Please stay tuned because we will give the link for attendance and participation certificate at somewhere by the end of the session. So while having this break, let's listen to our Deputy President of Delta, Madam Nur Hayati binti Abdullah. Please welcome.
Hi, Kamal. Morning. Right, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Mr. Kamal. And welcome everyone to session 5 of our READ session, Routine Engagement in an Academic Dialogue, which we bring to you Mr. Abdul Wahid, very knowledgeable person. I truly enjoyed the first part of the session just now. It's like a revision to me. Okay, and I hope all of you are also taking notes and getting lots of tips where you can use verbs now with your students and make your lessons more interesting. Okay, while giving our speaker a chance to take a break, catch a breather, drink some coffee perhaps, right? We are going to talk about Delta a little bit, okay? You know, Delta is a very new association. We are barely 2 years old. We were registered in April 2019. So now we are into our second year. The president is Mr. Zanurin. You are probably quite familiar with this guy, right? There's no stopping him. He's here and there and everywhere. He's talking all the time about writing. And I'm sure you have followed his sessions on writing for CFR, which he is again going to have next week. So Mr. President is a very busy person, right? And he's well known. We are lucky to have Mr. Zanurin as our president because he's doing lots of things where we are now actively sharing with our teachers. So me, I'm a retired SISC officer, right? So I probably have time at my hands. Okay, so you can also contact me if you have questions to ask. We in Delta, we have 5 vice presidencies. Okay, we have Kuei for primary level vice president. We have Madam Suzihana, our vice president for secondary level. We have Madam Selva Maler for tertiary level. We have Mr. Elmi from PPD Kota Star for the education management level. And then this is the best part. We have Mr. Roslan Mustafa, our vice president for retirees. We in Delta appreciate retirees. So those of you teachers, when it comes, when the time comes that you retire and you feel like, you still have it in you that you want to share, you still want to give something back, and I can tell you for sure, as a retiree myself, it's not easy to totally forget about English language, once you retire. So come and join Delta. We have this category of ordinary member where we appreciate our retirees, right? You can still share your knowledge, you can still share your experience, like what Mr. Wahid is doing today, so we welcome our teachers from all categories and all levels to join us, all right? So we also have our secretary, okay, Secretary Madam Ku Suryati, who is a senior teacher in Batu 17. We have our Assistant Secretary, Mr. William. He's now in PPD Kuala Mudayan. We have our Treasurer, Madam Sharon. She's now in Changlun. And we have Madam Sahara, who is our Assistant Treasurer. She is in SMK Jerai in Baling. And the other 4 people you see there are our elected committee members, Madam Kogila in PPD Kulim, Mr. Azham in Padang Terap, Madam Khalifa Mastura, she's in Kedah Matriculation College, in Engineering College, Kedah Matriculation Engineering College, and we have Madam Elena Tan. She is in PPD Kota Star. Okay, and they are all in charge of various bureaus. We have the Professional Development Bureau, we have the Publication Bureau, we have a Research and Development Bureau, and we have the Multimedia Bureau. So we are trying to make sure that we cover various aspects so that we can help our teachers to share and learn new things and discover platforms in order to soar higher. Okay, and in order to make ourselves relevant, we also have members, representatives from Kubang Pasu, right? Mr. Kamal is from Kubang Pasu, and we have representatives from Baling, we have representatives from Kulim, from SIK, for both primary and secondary. I hope you can recognize some of them, right? And we have people from, right, I can't see very clearly, but never mind, you can see them, I'm sure. So these are our representatives, right? From Langkawi and from, yes, all the districts in Kedah. reason being is we want to make sure that we are relevant to everyone, right? And we also have our representatives from Kuala Mudayat, Mr. Shafiq, yes. And the last two are our elected auditors, okay? So I hope you have seen these representatives from the district, so that should you have any queries or you want to make sure that you get information, so these are the people that you can contact and get to know Delta a bit more, so that you can jump onto the bandwagon with us and you can join Delta in all our sessions. Okay, now next please, Shafiq. Right, what are the benefits that you get, okay, when you join Delta? There are plenty of benefits, and what I can promise you is that as a body, our aim is to make sure that you can um, do continuous learning, lifelong learning, and discover platforms so that you can share and expand your knowledge, and you can make sure that you are always with a professional organization. Now, Delta stands for Darul Aman English Language Learning and Teaching Association. So we are in Kedah, right? It doesn't mean that Delta is open only for Kedah teachers. We are also open for everyone inside and outside Kedah. We have various categories for our membership. But as Kedah teachers, you can enjoy Delta's activities for free if you are a member, or at a discounted rate. So that is one benefit that I'm quite sure that you are going to be, very happy about. And we always give priorities, right? If you are a Delta member, when we carry out our activities, we give priorities to our Delta members. Okay. Now, yes, Shafiq, next slide, please. Okay. Now, as our aim, like I said just now, we would like to provide the platform for professional growth among English language teachers. Now, how do we do this? We have platforms for the sharing of best practices. If you have your best practice, and we have our conferences, our seminars, you can come in and join and share your best practices. And if you have innovations that you want to share with others, and you would like to see whether your innovations can help others as well, so we provide the platform as well for you to share your innovations. And we also carry out action research, and we train teachers to carry out action research, and this we have done, and we hope that we can do this again, and more teachers can use action research to improve their teaching and learning. Okay, action research, I would like to say, is not just for teachers who want to pursue to be a master teacher, but action research should be done by all of us as professional members of the profession, that we can use this medium in order to improve our teaching process. Okay, so do come and join us, because if you have your innovations and you have your best practices, you can publish your discoveries and your innovations in our publications. We have got e-books. We have got also our normally produced publications, where you can share your writings, and this will all benefit you and all the other teachers as well. So we have got Delta Connection, our e-bulletin, right? And we have our read session. If you have something to share, tell us about it and we can put you up. We have our Delta Innovation channel, which we call DICEP. This is a Telegram channel. We carry out conferences, webinars. We have the books and e-books and all. We have our Delta Journal of Action Research coming out soon. And we also have coming up in December, a Delta International Virtual Innovation Conference. So stay tuned with us. We welcome you. We would like you to join us. some questions for you to consider. If English teachers in Kedah do not become the members of Delta, then who will? We would like to see more English teachers of Kedah becoming members of Delta. And if not now, then when? Right. So you have seen, if you are a Delta member, the things that you can get. And if you want more information, you can go to our website, which is www.deltakedah.com. Okay. We also have our Facebook. So join us, right? Always make sure that you are on the lookout for our posters, for our sessions to join us. And if you are a member, like we say, you can have free sessions, free participation, right? And here, my last reminder before I stop is that when you key in your address and your name afterward for your e-cert, make sure you type in your address correctly. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to me. I hope you enjoyed the rest of the session and we look forward to see you again. Thank you very much. Bye.
Okay, thank you, Madam Nohayati. So, everyone, we really welcome everyone to join Delta, where we all can get the benefit and improve together as educators. Now, I hope everyone is ready for the second part. So, I would like to welcome again our speaker, Tuan Haji Abdul Wahid bin Latt, with his second part. So, please welcome.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kamal.
Okay.
Welcome back to the English language sharing session organized by the Darul Aman English Language Teaching and Learning Association. Okay, for part 2, I'll introduce to you a framework of the English verbs. Okay, look at the framework given. Okay, the framework simplifies the English verbs into two categories. The finite verb, which is the compulsory grammatical item in a sentence, and the non-finite verb that consists of 14 forms. Okay, the finite verb is further subcategorized into two categories, the one-word verb and the verb phrase. Okay, the one-word verb consists of 5 groups. The first one is the descriptive stative, or traditionally called simple present stative. For example, is, are, has, have. Okay, the second one is a descriptive dynamic, or traditionally called simple present dynamic. For example, go, comes, run, falls, etc. Okay, number 3 is a narrative stative, or traditionally called simple past stative. For example, was, were, had. Next, a narrative dynamic, or traditionally called simple past dynamic. For example, ate for eat, saw for see, went for go. And the last one, the imperative, used in instruction. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for this session, I'm going to focus on the finite verb phrase. The reason is I want to introduce to you a system which is not quite familiar among English language teachers. It is called the 5-4-3-2-1 system. Here, this system is formulated in such a way that it could help students to construct a finite verb phrase correctly. Okay, let us start the session. Can you please look at page 20, entitled The Finite Verb Phrase, in bracket, the dynamic? Yes. Okay, in column 5, we have words in the form of modals: can, could, dare, do, etc., etc. The column 4 consists of auxiliaries to show the concept of perspective. So we have the word has, have, and had. Column 3 consists of auxiliaries to show the concept of progressive. We have be, am, is, are, was, were. The column 2 consists of auxiliaries am, be, is, are, was, and were to show that the sentence is in the passive form. Okay, column 1 is for the lexical form. There are 3 forms: past participle, base plus ing, and base. Okay, to understand how this system works, let us do some exercises. Okay, look at handout 1 entitled Write Well Program. The finite verb phrase. Write Well Program, handout 1, the finite verb phrase. Okay, look at sentence number 1. Ripe mangoes boleh dimakan fresh. We focus on the final verb phrase boleh dimakan. Okay, boleh is a modal and it is located in column 5. So can you please write the number 5 on top of the word boleh? Write number 5 on top of the word boleh. D shows that the sentence is in the passive form. So can you write number 2 on top of the word D? Write number 2 on top of the word D. Okay, makan is the lexis. So you write number 1 on top of the word makan. So you have 5 to 1 on top of the verb phrase boleh dimakan. Do you get that? So you have the number 5 on top of boleh, number 2 on top of di, and 1 on makan. Okay, now turn to page 20. Sorry, page 21. Put your ruler under the word can. Put your ruler under the word can in column 5. And you have be in column 2 and past participle in column 1. So therefore, the verb phrase for boleh dimakan is can be. Makan in participle is eaten. So therefore, the verb phrase is can be eaten. Alright? Okay, sentence number 2. When I was 2, I diberi to a childless couple for adoption. Okay, look at the verb phrase diberi. The word di shows that the sentence is in passive form. So write number 2 on top of the word di and number 1 on top of the word beri. So you have the system 2-1. Okay. Now turn to page 20. of the verb phrase, okay, put your ruler under the word was in column 2. So you have was and participle. Okay, participle for bury is given. Therefore, the verb phrase will be was given. Okay, so the sentence will read, when I was 2, I was given to a childless couple for adoption. Okay, we skip sentence 3 because the form is just like sentence 2. We go on to sentence number 4. Siti masih menunggu for her mother to arrive since this morning. Okay, look at the verb phrase masih menunggu. Okay, the word masih carries two concepts. Concept of perfective and concept of continuous. So you write 4 and 3 on top of masih. You write 4 and 3 on top of the word masih, and you write 1 on top of menunggu. So masih menunggu, the system is 4, 3, 1. I repeat, we put 4 and 3 on the word masih because it consists of two concepts, perfective and continuous. So we have 4, 3, 1. You turn to page 21. Put your ruler under the word has at the bottom there. Has in column 4. Has in column 4. So you have has in column 4, been in column 3, and base ing in column 1. So therefore, the verb phrase for masih menunggu will be has been waiting. So the whole sentence will read, Siti has been waiting for her mother to arrive since this morning. Okay? Okay, sentence number 5. The Taming Sari Kris mungkin telah disimpan at the Malacca Museum. Okay, the word mungkin is a model. So please write number 5 on top of the word mungkin. Telah is perfective. Write number 4 on top of telah. D showing the sentence is imperative. So write number 2 on top of D. Simpan is lexical. So the system is 5, 4, 2, 1. Okay, now turn to page 23. Okay, put your ruler under the word might, line 3 from the top. Okay, might, model might, column 5, line 3. You have might, and then in column 4 you have, column 2 you have been, and column 1 is in the form of past participle. Therefore, mungkin will be might, telah will be have, D is been, participle is kept. So the whole verb phrase will be might have been kept. Alright, sentence number 6. All Form 4 students telah diberi a booklet on the school rules and regulations. Okay, telah diberi. Telah, concept of perfective. Write number 4 on top of telah. D showing that the sentence is imperative. So write number 2 on top of D. Beri is lexical or lexical. Therefore, the system is 4-2-1. Can turn to page 21. You put your ruler under the word has in column 4. In the middle there. So you have has in column 4, been in column 2, and participle in column 1. So therefore, the verb phrase will be all Form 4 students have been, okay, beri participle for beri is given. So have been given a booklet on the school rules and regulations. Okay, sentence number 7. This medicine patut disimpan in the refrigerator. Okay, patut is a model. To write number 5 on top of the word patut. The concept of passive, to show that sentence is passive, write number 2. Simpan is lexical. Alright, where can we look at the 5-to-1 system? Look at page 21. Okay, put page 21. Put your ruler under the word must in column 5. Must in column 5. Okay, so you have must in column 5, be in column 2, and participle in column 1. Okay, participle for simpan will be kept. Therefore, the verb phrase will be must be kept. Okay, the whole sentence will read, this medicine must be kept in the refrigerator. Okay, sentence number 8. Saleh and Dola sedang ditahan for illegal racing. Okay, this is a factual related sentence. Yeah? Okay, sedang shows the concept of continuity. The concept of passive. Tahan is lexical. So put number 3 on top of sedang, 2 on top of the, and 1 on top of tahan. So we have 3, 2, 1. Okay, now take your ruler and turn to page 21. Okay, put your ruler under the word are in column 3. Are in column 3 because it is factual related. It is a factual related sentence. Yeah? So it's are in column 3. So you have being in column 2 and participle form in column 1. So therefore, the verb phrase will be are being detained. So Saleh and Dola are being detained for illegal racing. Okay, sentence number 9. My children sedang melayari the internet at this moment. Okay, sedang is a concept of continuous. Melayari is lexical. So sedang you put 3 on top of sedang and 1 on top of melayari. So therefore we have 3, 1. You turn to page 20. Put your ruler under the word are in column 3. So you have are and then 1 is base ing. So therefore, my children are surfing the internet at this moment. Okay, sentence number 10. My neighbor telah membeli a new house. Telah is a concept of perfective. Membeli is lexical So put 4 on top of telah and 1 on top of membeli. So the system is 4-1. You turn to page 20. You put your ruler on top, under the word has in column 4. Put your ruler under the word has in column 4. So we have has and plus the past participle. Therefore, my neighbor has bought a new house. Okay, sentence 11. Ali telah disuruh to clean the dishes since this morning. Okay, telah is the concept of perfective. Write number 4 on top of telah. D showing that the sentence is in passive. Okay, suruh is like this. To write 1. So telah number 4. D number 2. Suruh is 1. So we have 4 to 1. Turn to page 21. Put your ruler under the word has in column 4 in the middle there. Has in column 4, been in column 2, and participle in column 1. Therefore, the verb phrase will be has been asked. So the whole sentence will read, Ali has been asked to clean the dishes since this morning. Okay, sentence number 12. The Negeri Sembilan football players. The Negeri Sembilan football players mungkin sedang meraihkan their victory now. It's not clear. The typing is not clear. Mungkin sedang meraihkan their victory now. Okay, look at the verb phrase mungkin sedang meraihkan. Mungkin is a model to write number 5 on top of mungkin. Sedang shows the concept of continuity. Meraihkan is like this, 1. So we have mungkin 5, sedang 3, raihkan 1. So the system is 5, 3, 1. You turn to page 22. You put your ruler under the word might in column 5. In the middle there, might. So there you have be in column 3 and base ing in column 1. So mungkin sedang meraihkan will be might be celebrating. Okay. Sentence number 13. You patut telah hadir the meeting because you are the one who is responsible for the project. Okay, patut is a model, to write number 5 on top of patut. Telah is perfective, write number 4 on top of telah. Hadir lexical is number 1. Okay, we have 4 to 1. Okay, turn to page 22. Put your ruler under the word should in column 5 at the bottom there. Should at the bottom where you have should in column 5, have in column 4, and past participle in column 1. So therefore, the verb phrase will be should have attended. Okay, so the whole sentence to read, you should have attended the meeting because you are the one who is responsible for the project. Okay, sentence 14. The SPM examination result for the year 2011 akan diumumkan in March. The akan is a model D showing passive, umumkan is lexical. So write number 5 on top of akan, number 2 on top of D, umumkan number 1. Alright, there will be 5 to 1. Turn to page 21. To put your ruler under the word will, 3 lines from the bottom, 4th line from the bottom here. Will, and you will have will in column 5, be in column 2, and 1 participle. So therefore, the verb phrase will be announced. Okay? And the whole sentence will read, the SPM examination results for the year 2011 will be announced in March. Okay, sentence number 15. The eclipse of the moon boleh dilihat at several places in Southeast Asia. So boleh is a model, write number 5 on top of boleh. D showing that the sentence is in passive, so write number 2 on top of D. Lihat is the form, lexical form. You turn to page 21. You put your ruler under the word can in the middle there. So you'll have can in column 5, be in column 2, and participle for lihat is seen. So therefore the verb phrase will be can be seen. So the whole sentence will read, the eclipse of the moon can be seen at several places in Southeast Asia. Okay, sentence number 16. I could not call the police because my hands sedang diikat by the robbers. Okay, this is a narrative sentence. Right, sedang is a concept of continuity. D showing passive, ikat is lexical. So on top of sedang, you write number 3. On top of D, you write number 2. Ikat number 1. Okay, so turn to page 21. Put the ruler under the word were in column 3. Put the ruler under the word in column 3. Were in column 3, sorry. Put your ruler under the word were in column 3. So you have were in column 3, being in column 2, and then participle ikat, that would be tied in column 1. So therefore, the verb phrase will be were being tied. So the whole sentence will read, I could not call the police because my hands were being tied by the robbers. Okay, sentence number 17. You mesti telah menonton the film KL Drift. Okay, mesti is a model, to write number 5 on top of mesti. Telah is perfective, write number 4 on top of the word telah, and menonton number 1 on top. Write number 1 on top of menonton. So the system is 5, 4, 1. Okay, turn to page 22. Put your ruler under the word must in column 5, have in column 4, and participle in column 1. So the verb phrase will be must have watched. Therefore, the whole sentence read, you must have watched the film KL Drift. Alright, sentence number 18. Your motorcycle kemungkinan telah dicuri. The kemungkinan is a model, write number 5 on top of kemungkinan. Telah is perfective, write number 4 on top of the telah. D showing passive, so write number 2 on top of D. Curi is lexical. So we have 5, 4, 2, 1. Okay, turn to page 23. Put your ruler under the word could in column 5, telah in column 4, been in column 2, and participle in column 1. So the verb phrase will read, kemungkinan could have been stolen while you were attending your tuition classes. So the whole sentence should read, your motorcycle could have been stolen while you were attending your tuition classes. Alright, sentence number 19. The corpse of Pharaoh II telah dan masih disimpan. Telah is a concept of perfective, so write number 4. Masih, concept of continuity, write number 3. D, showing that the sentence is impressive, write number 2. Simpan like this, write number 1. So we have 4, 3, 2, 1. Return to page 22. Put your ruler under the word has. Bottom there. Has, column 4. Been, column 3. Being, column 2. And participle, we have a cap will be for participle, yeah? Therefore, the verb phrase will be has been being kept at the pyramid in Gaza. So the whole sentence should read, the corpse of Pharaoh II has been being kept at the pyramid in Gaza. Okay, the last sentence, the Iraqi prisoners mungkin, that is a model. Okay, write number 5 on top of the word mungkin. Telah, perfective, write number 4. Dan masih, continuity, write number 3. D, showing that the sentence in the passive, write number 2. Dera is like this, write number 1. Okay, so we have this is the the longest English verb phrase. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the longest English verb phrase. So look at page 23. Put your ruler under the word might in column 5, have column 4, been column 3, being column 2, past participle column 1. So therefore the verb phrase will be might have been being kept. Okay, therefore the whole sentence should read, the Iraqi prisoners might have been, sorry, it's not kept, tortured, yeah? Sorry. The Iraqi prisoners mungkin might have been being tortured. I'm sorry for that, yeah? I repeat, the Iraqi prisoners might have been being tortured for Dara by the American army at the Guantanamo Bay prison. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the the longest English verb phrase. Okay, the longest English finite verb phrase.
Okay, Mr. Wahid, sorry to disturb you. So there's one question from the viewer. The question goes, can you please differentiate between the teaching of finite verb phrase and the testing of finite verb phrase?
Okay, good question. Excuse me for a while. Okay. Yeah. This is a common question. Well, as teachers, we know that after we teach the students a certain grammatical item, we will test them to find out whether they have understood what has been taught. Okay, the teaching of the finite verb phrase is very technical. So, we have to adopt the traditional approach. We have to teach it in isolation, which means we cannot integrate the teaching of the finite verb phrase with the teaching of listening, speaking, reading, or writing. Okay, first we need to introduce the form and function of the words in column 5, followed by words in column 4, and then column 3, 2, and 1. Then we proceed with the system by introducing 2-1 passive form, 3-1 continuous form, and 4-1 perfective form. Next, we introduce 3-1 progressive in passive, 4-1 perfective in passive, 5-1 modal in passive, 5-3-1 modal and continuous, and later we introduce 4-3-1 and finally 5-4-3-1. All the examples, they all should be accompanied with examples in a correct sentence, in the perfect sentence. Okay, reinforcement can be done when we teach reading or writing. For example, if we refer to Appendix 7 in Part 1, there is one sentence, Theo may have been strangled. In Appendix 7, Part 1, we have the sentence, Theo may have been strangled. Okay, may is a modal, which is number 5. Have is perfective, number 4. Been, showing that it's a passive, number 2. Strangle is lexical. Okay, so we need to ask the students to find the word strangle, the meaning of strangle, and they will get the whole meaning. May is mungkin, have telah been the strangled cekek. So may have been strangled will bring the meaning mungkin telah dicekek. Alright? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, okay, teaching the finite verb phrase takes quite some time. So teachers are advised to use the double period. And then students are also advised to have the finite verb phrase table during every English lesson because we can use it as a reference on and off. Okay? Right, for testing purposes, okay, you can use the fill in the blank item. Okay, for example, we can take sample, sentence number 1. Ripe mangoes can be eaten fresh. Alright, you omit the word D so that it will read like this. Okay, can you look at the screen? So you have sentences like this. Ripe mangoes. Okay, you put can number 5. You omit the word in the blank there number 2. Eaten number 1. Okay, ask the students to find to fill in the correct auxiliary for number 2. Okay, This is for testing purposes. Okay, another example. Okay, another example. Look at the sentence number 2. Okay, the Negeri Sembilan players must, okay, number 5, B, number 3. So you leave blank for number 1 so that the students can find the correct form for celebrate. Okay, so you can manipulate the final verb phrase for testing purposes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have come to the end of part 2 and thus the end of Read 5 sharing session program. I hope every participant has benefited some ideas from this session, especially on the power of English verbs. Yeah, I would like to thank all of you for joining us in this program and also to Delta for organizing this program. Now I'll hand over this session to the moderator, Encik Kamal. Thank you.
Thank you, Tuan Haji. So thank you again, Tuan Haji. I hope the clarification about the finite verb testing and teaching is clear. So thank you again to Tuan Haji Abdul Wahid bin Cik Latt for this sharing session. So dear audience, please don't forget to fill in the Google form via the link given in the chat box for your attendance and certificates. I hope that everyone is inspired and able to adopt and adapt the approaches that Tuan Haji just shared with us just now. Thank you again, Tuan Haji. Also, on behalf of Delta, I would like to thank the audience and everyone here for your participation in this Read 5 session. I apologize for any inconvenience that occurred during this session. I hope everyone will stay safe during this pandemic and always be one step ahead in teaching and self-development for the benefit of our students. Goodbye, everyone. Take care. Have a good day. And Assalamualaikum.